Awesome. Everyone, welcome to our book club monthly meeting. And today it's not a book, it's a video that we watched. And hope everyone got a lot from watching the video. And it was a video that I had watched some 15 years or so ago, maybe longer, when it probably first came out. But it's a video that I watched maybe 100 times in that period of time, just coming back to it again and again and again, and having taught it as well in different settings. But I found it really very useful and very meaningful watching this again. And it kind of forces me this book club meeting and brings about some level of accountability. And I hope it's doing the same for you. There's a statement that leaders are readers. Leaders are readers. And of course, when we talk about readers, it also applies to watching videos. These days, we have the benefit of that format where we can watch a video and so forth. And if somebody was to pull me aside and say, Salim, what are the 50 best books, 50 best videos, whatever, to watch, and most likely this one would be one of them because of how useful it is. And the video is How Great Leaders Inspire Action. It's on YouTube. It's received many accolades, millions of views, thousands of comments, and by Simon Sinek. So that's the video that we watched. And hopefully everyone, it's only 18 minutes. So it's one of those things that it's easy to watch and, fairly quickly. And so hopefully if everybody got the chance to do that. Here's the agenda. I'm going to share in a PowerPoint deck, key learnings. And then we'll talk about the main points, collectively. Every so often, if there's a slide and if something speaks to you, as part of that first item, key learnings, just stop me and chime in. And then we'll talk about applications of the strategies and then a recap. And so all that within the next 45 minutes or so. So first things first, what are really kind of a question for all of us, and just give me a quick answer. What are some of the common biggest challenges faced by small businesses? Common challenges that small businesses
having enough business,
enough clients, enough new business. Cool. Yes. Yeah. 100%. What else?
Having a clear visibility on cash flow.
Cool. Yeah.
Having a lot of Mike.
Go ahead, Noor.
Okay, so I think lack of established systems. So they are usually wearing a lot of hats, doing a lot of things. One person, doing many things.
Yeah.
That was what I was going to say. Is they're working so hard in their businesses, they don't have the time to work on their business.
Yeah, right. And there's a reason why they're the ones doing it. They can't find good people. So the biggest challenges faced by small businesses, this is what having a why statement and applying it can help small businesses, right? So the next slide is kind of talking from the application standpoint of what does a why statement do? It helps us alleviate the challenges you guys shared, like inspiring client loyalty, so retention, right? So we don't have too much client, we don't have client attrition. Having a why statement helps to do that. And of course, bring, I think there's one that signing differentiates your business, right? Sets your business apart to what John said, helps you attract more clients, attracting the right employees. Attracting the right employees so that the owner is not the one doing everything. Guides decision-making, having a strong why serves as a compass for making decisions that are consistent with your core values and purpose. And then it fosters brand advocacy, right? If people passionately believe, team, clients, then referrals and advocacy becomes easier. So just kind of why is having a why statement important? And really, what I would like to see us do from an application standpoint is to see how this applies, how do you go about getting a why statement? What does a why statement look like for you in your business, right? And so here's a quick recap of the video. Why do some leaders inspire action more, inspire more than others? So it talks about, of course, the golden circle, right? The whole theme is the golden circle model, and the outer layer, the what, the middle layer, the how, the process, and then the why, the purpose. There's a slide here, and I'll quickly read through that. Every organization knows what they do. We provide accounting services. I provide website design, website services, and so forth. We know every organization does what that outer layer. Some of them, a smaller portion, know how to do it. So it's differentiated value. There's something different, something unique that they're doing. But few really know why they do it, the purpose, the cause, the belief. It's the mission statement. It's their story. Why are they so passionate? And leaders inspired by communicating from the inside out. They starting with the why. Example of Apple. I think he shared that multiple times in the video. We make great computers. Want to buy one? Apple's approach is everything we do, we believe in challenging the status quo, like nothing about computers, right? Nothing about computers there, right? It's about changing the status quo. Key takeaway: people don't buy what you do; they buy why you do it. So people don't buy all the Apple devices because they are amazing and they are very unique and streamlined and all that, because it's what they believe in challenging the status quo. How the brain responds to the golden circle. I mean, here it's really, we're talking about, the why really connects to their decision making and it inspires action. The other stuff is more rational thought, but the why really connects with at a deeper level. And that's why when we're, when we're selling, right, people will buy there's a one-liner. Does anybody remember? They buy based on emotion, and then they
rationalize the rest of it.
Rationalize, based on what is it? They buy based on emotion and rationalize it with logic, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. They rationalize it with logic, right? So, another example was the Wright brothers, why they succeeded: no money, no education. When their so-called competitor, he had the resources, but he was driven by the wrong thing. He was driven by the pursuit of fame and riches. And the difference is the Wright brothers team believed in the cause. A book that I'm reading right now by Adam Coffey, and he's built $1 billion empire in different industries, in several different industries. And it says you want to manage the culture. You want to grow through culture by building the culture, not through revenues. And he's got this one-liner that escapes me: managed by culture, not managed by revenue. So you're more driven not by the revenues, but the team. The team is what and in order to build the team, and the culture, there's got to be a lot of why. Why do we do things? Why are we in existence, and so forth? bad example or a fail, an example of a company that didn't do well is TiVo. That the best product but failed commercially. They communicated what the product did, features, missed opportunities to communicate why people should care. Martin Luther King, his famous speech, "I have a dream, a vision, not a plan."
Yeah, that was funny.
That was funny. A lot of comments in the video. They were like, this one-liner. He didn't have a vision statement. He didn't talk about a plan. He talked about a vision. People get inspired by the vision. All right, almost there, guys. People don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. Great leaders inspire action by starting with why. Inspire by clearly communicating your purpose and beliefs. All right, so we are at I want to get your interaction and so forth. How does the concept of start with your why resonate with you, and then what changes will you make, actions you'll take? After this slide, FYI, I've got some examples of big companies, of what their why statement is and the explanation. I have shared with you Straight Talk, my firm's why statement, and then I've got a framework to create yours. So that's kind of what's coming. But I want to bring this conversation back to everyone here. What's resonated with you in everything that you heard in that video, watched in that video, and then some of the slides that we saw here?
I think it sounds logical, meaning, he explains it in a way that you would think after so many years of putting it out there, more companies would do it. More companies would be thinking about it. I thought about what I do and what I say when I'm in front of chamber events, and I'm always giving what we do with reasons why, I feel we're better than the competition. And so I immediately, as I was listening to this 3, 4, 5 times, started, making some notes about, okay, how can I think about why we're doing things, and how can I really restate what I'm saying in the opposite order. So I've already been working on that and have something that I think is pretty good, but I need to get it down so that I can, just announce that smoothly. So I'm definitely going to make changes into the way that I present myself and Atlantic Printing when I talk with people.
Yeah, that's awesome. I can't wait to see that, John.
Yep.
Your purpose statement or your why statement.
Cool.
I think that, I mean, in a lot of cases, maybe it's not all cases, but I think a lot of times people don't start their businesses with why. It's all the time, particularly today, it seems like a lot of people start their businesses because either they're fed up of where they are and think they could do it better, or they have no choice because they're unemployed. And I think that's, it's so a lot of times businesses are started out of necessity. So they have to kind of backtrack into, okay, so why am I doing it? But he does bring up a really good point, particularly when he's talking about the Wright brothers and the guy who was well funded. It's like it's like they were all working for a paycheck. They didn't have the inspiration. I think a lot of people, I even think a lot of businesses fail because they don't know why they're doing it. They're just going paycheck to paycheck or whatever the case is. They don't have that inspiration, because I think to the Wright brothers point is like all of the people that work for the Wright brothers, they probably received diddly squat for working, and they basically changed the world. And I think that has a lot to do with it. Like, so not knowing why you get up in the morning I think really kind of leads to a lot of burnout, leads to a lot of businesses closing down, or just people losing faith in what they're doing.
Yeah, a lot of wisdom there, what you shared. Anyone else? Thoughts, comments on anything so far?
Yeah, so I can share. So I'm also like a fan of Simon Sinek, and I have done this exercise from, I think it's from his book Start with Why, and now I sometimes I give it to a lot of my clients to practice it. It's a long exercise, but it's really like it's a life-changing experience. So basically, the exercise is about that you write 10 stories, any 10 stories from your life that you remember. It could be happy stories, sad stories, anything, right? But whatever you have remembered, of course, it has an impact on you during your life. So you write those 10 stories, and then there are specific steps. You sit, ideally, you are doing it with a partner, and then you identify the patterns in your stories, and from those patterns you will also identify that, okay, what are the values that are important for me, or what I have always, what kind of choices I have always made, or what I have decisions I am always taking, even in these 10 different stories. And after that you can basically identify your purpose or your why. So I've done this exercise, I think somewhere 3 4 years ago, and then I've come up with a small why statement that I always use. I mean, not only for work, but for anything. And that statement for me is that my purpose of my life is to make positive difference. And whenever things are difficult, whenever there are decisions that I have to take, I just go back and see, okay, this is my purpose. And then there's more detail into that exercise that you identify, okay, what are your 4 or 5 values? And then you set your goals, and then you choose your career and on everything accordingly. So I totally believe in it, and I live by it. This is purpose, what I it is for me. It's not like very well defined, but that drives me, and not only in my professional space but in my personal space. So I would say, if you guys get time, do that exercise. It's really like eye opening in many ways.
Mm.
Mhm.
Yeah, it becomes a compass, right? Everything, it's a checkpoint in terms of
Yes.
decision making as well. Yeah,
Hmm.
awesome. Yeah, anyone else?
Okay, I'll share. Shaw and I were waiting. All right, so I can really relate on this topic. Um, I remember a couple of years back, my manager asked me to do a project, and once I finish that project, I will be eligible for a promotion. So my initial reaction during that time is to just finish everything, accomplish everything on time, and then submit it. All right. And then now it's time for the presentation. I was about to present the project to the whole group. And then one manager asked me, why did you do that? Why did you decided to create that project? And I was speechless. I don't know what to say. I really
Mm,
don't know what's the purpose I did that, because my goal during that time is to just finish this project for the promotion, but I do not have any deeper reason. I don't have any motivation why I did that. So after I watched this video, um, it brought me back to that time when I was presenting. I just realized that if I paid so much attention with the reason I'm doing something, or with the core motivation why I'm doing something, I think that project will be more successful.
mm,
And realizing that, really finding the reason you're doing something and bringing it out, and making the people see why you're doing it, and making them believe on what you believe, is really more important. And when I was watching the video, I was somehow laughing because I can see myself, you know, on that situation. And like what Michael mentioned earlier, basically most of the time it will be our initial reaction to just do things and finish it, make it done, and that's it. And I think part of my action plan really moving forward, whatever I'm doing, I really need to start thinking, why am I doing this? What's the purpose? Why I'm doing this? And I think it will be more successful if I will do it that way.
Hmm. Yeah, that's great. I'm glad you really connected with it, the video and to your situation. It reminded you of something that had happened in your life a number of years back. Cool. Sure.
I don't have much to add. Michael, what you shared was really interesting. A lot of small businesses starting their business is like, a way to make a paycheck, or they think they can do better doing that than their current job or whatever it might be. And it definitely does seem true. Seems like I've talked to several clients like that, and I don't know. I think maybe it's part of the why is it brings out the passion, right? If you have a why, then you have passion and you have um, some deeper meaning in it that gives you more to go off of.
Yeah, it's kind of like I kind of really like people who get up early in the morning and exercise. It's like
Mm.
it's still dark, whatever the case is, they go for a run or whatever, they end up at the gym. It's like, why are you doing this? There's a why to, nobody wants to get up to 4:30 in the morning and go, abuse their body. I mean, I guess some people, unless there's a reason behind it. And
Mm.
it's the same thing. As soon as you lose that reason,
Mm-hmm.
you're slapping the alarm snooze, you're throwing the covers back over you, and you're saying, screw this.
Mm-hmm.
And that's it. And I think the same thing with business. As soon as you lose your why, I think as soon as you lose your inspiration for doing it,
Mm.
then it just becomes a burden. It's just,
Mm.
whether it's a passion, whether it's a business, it's like, why am I getting up and doing this? Why am I doing this? If you can't really answer that question, you're going to sit your butt back down. So
Mm.
I'm not going to bother. I got other things to
Mm.
do.
Yeah, yeah. As soon as we lose our why, it becomes meaningless. It can
Hmm.
become mundane. And really, as you're sharing this, Mike, it's even on a personal life, in our personal life, right? Once we lose our why, then living becomes, it's one problem after another. It's one challenge after another. It's one obstacle after another, right?
Hmm.
It becomes a life of that. Uh, and that becomes just not enjoyable.
Hmm. Hmm.
So connecting with our why, I think business wise, personal wise, I mean, even successful people that are multi millionaire. Recently we've been watching like Jack Reacher movies, and Tom Cruise, I don't know why, but we are watching them. And just stumble across them. So we watched two in the last couple of days again. We've watched it before. And Tom Cruise is the producer of these movies. And the guy's, he doesn't need to produce, he doesn't need to be in any movies anymore. He's got a few hundred million stashed away, right? Why does he do that? Why does Clint Eastwood at the age of 90 go on and produce another movie or direct another movie, right? It's not
Hmm.
the money, right? It's not the profit, as Simon says, Sinek, right? It's
Hmm.
not the revenues, it's not the profit. That's a byproduct.
Yeah.
But they are connected with the why, and we seem to lose that. Is we seem to lose that with time, or we never find it, we never have it, because it's about, what are we going to do? We lost a job. I need to start my own business. I'm going to do what I did in my job. Produce that service, provide that service, produce that
Hmm.
product, and it becomes about that.
Yeah. And
So,
then, yeah, and then eventually that becomes you
mm,
you know basically you're stuck in the same spiral you were in your own job. The only difference is now they're all your problems.
Yeah. I've recently been studying Richard Koch, and this is going to be something we're going to do together in the near future. Richard Koch is an amazing inspiration. He wrote the 80-20 principle, the book. There was a multi-million, bestseller. And I was studying him recently, and he said, don't allow your activity drive your thought. Don't let activity drive your thought. And I felt it was a profound statement. And he believes in working less, not more.
Mm-hmm.
It's all about 80-20. What is the 20% of things that will bring in 80% of the results? So you become very aware. Am I just doing activity for the sake of activity, or am I doing the stuff that's most important? And that's always a process, right? We'll come up with 10 things we are doing, and we look at the 2 things we need to do. And then, it's continually, it's looking at and becoming aware that what am I doing that's most impactful? And people can have a 15-hour workday doing a lot of activity, but don't allow that activity to drive your thoughts about, you may form an opinion, or this is the nature of this business. It's busy. I don't enjoy it. And you're basing it based on the activities and the day you have. So I don't know if, there's any, you guys can kind of connect that, but kind of keep that in mind is, I guess, what I'll say. Don't allow your activity drive your thoughts. Yeah, that can be dangerous with doing that. Cool. I want to spend, if we can kind of go next with I want to share with you a few examples of why statements, a little bit of an explanation. There's, I think, 7 or so. And then I'll share with you what Straight Talk has, and then how to go about it. And I'll share with you a framework, but I'll also share with you how I went about it in bringing about my why statement many years ago. So, all right, let's kind of go there. Oh, by the way, I came across this comment. It was one of the comments in the video in the YouTube. Somebody reminded me of this comment. John Maxwell, one of my favorite authors, find your why and you'll find your where. So even from a personal career standpoint, this is so true. Find your why and you'll find your where. Your why is going to guide you to what is best for you. All right. Examples of why, or purpose statements, right? So Apple why statement: to challenge the status quo and to think differently. Explanation: Apple focuses on innovation in creating products that push boundaries in design and functionality. Tesla: to accelerate the world's transition to sustainable energy. Wow, look at that. To accelerate the world's transition to sustainable energy. I didn't see anything about cars here. Tesla's purpose is to create sustainable energy solutions and to move away from fossil fuels. Google: their why statement: to organize the world's information and make it universally accessible and useful. Explanation: Google's purpose revolves around making information available to everyone, driving innovation in search and technology. Next, I got a few more. Patagonia: we're in business to save our home planet. Explanation: Patagonia's mission focuses on environmental protection and creating sustainable products that reduce harm to the planet. Nike: to bring inspiration and innovation to every athlete in the world. To bring inspiration and innovation to every athlete in the world. Nike's purpose is not just about selling sports products, but also about empowering people to reach their potential. Look at Starbucks, man. To inspire, my goodness, this is like nuts. It's a coffee company. They sell coffee. To inspire and nurture the human spirit, one person, one cup, and one neighborhood at a time. Starbucks focuses on creating connections and community through its coffee experience. Crazy, right? I mean, coffee company, $1 billion in revenues. Going through some challenges right now. but just amazing success, right? IKEA, to create a better everyday life for the many people. IKEA's purpose is to provide affordable, well-designed furniture to improve people's daily lives. And just to give us kind of some examples of different companies. Anyone that spoke to you, out of the 7, like if there was anything that anyone wants to share? Like you really want to feel like, wow, this really connected with me, resonated with me. And maybe not, but if there was, I'll give you guys a few seconds to share if anyone wants to do that.
I think of all of them, I like Nike's because I think that it's very true to their brand. Yeah, it's very, very focused. So like some of them, like we're in business to save our home planet. I yeah, it's very. I think there's this Nike's is very to the point. Where everything else is very kind of pie in the sky. And not that they're wrong, and it's not that they're bad, and it's not that they're not inspiring. It's just that of them, I think Nike's is kind of like fits the best with their brand.
Yeah, interesting. Same here. I kind of resonate, Mike, with what you shared there. Actually, recently when we were revisiting our employee handbook and looking at core values, Noor and myself working closely on that project, and I came across Nike's core values. I recently watched the movie. It's not their movie, but it's Matt Damon and
oh yeah, I haven't watched that one.
Who's the other guy? His buddy that he comes in movies with. Ben Affleck, right?
Yeah.
I don't remember the name of the movie, or was it?
Was it just Do It? No, it was.
Yeah, it could be. It could be Just Do It. It's a good movie, guys. If you wanna kind of Ben Affleck played the role of this CEO of Nike Phillips, and came near bankruptcy. This company came near bankruptcy until they signed Michael Jordan. And that just totally changed things around, with the trajectory. And, but yeah, anyway, Nike's is pretty amazing there. All right, let's straight talk. So we'll go there and kind of share the framework. So why? To empower entrepreneurs with financial clarity and tech strategies for growth. To empower entrepreneurs with financial clarity and tech strategies for growth. Sounds boring to me right now as I see it. And the explanation is Straight Talk provides expert financial insights and tax reduction strategies to help entrepreneurs' businesses grow and thrive. That's what I'd come up with, going through this exercise. I'm, of course, very curious to hear how that comes to you. Feedback is welcomed. Empowering Nike's was empowerment. It's, the passion is empowering entrepreneurs. And I talk, in the why statement, I bring about how we do that. And I'm wondering if that's even necessary to bring that in the why statement. Right. And so anyway, that's kind of how I went about it. And the way I got about creating this, and this can be useful to folks, is I listed out all the services we provide. We prepare financial statements. We prepare tax returns, all the what we do, right? And then I started asking a series of questions. Why do we do that? So we prepare financial statements. So there's I kind of come up with something. We prepare financial statements so that we can compile all the data in one place. Why do we do that? And then I kind of ask again, why do we do that? Why do we do that? And after like 6 times of asking this, why do we do that? I was able to come up with something that was deeper and more meaningful. And then same with tax returns, same with CFO calls, same with tax planning strategy calls. And through that, financial clarity and tech strategies for growth came about, right? So that's kind of something that, an exercise that I'd gone through a number of years back. And I feel it is now worth revisiting it, and to ask this to myself and to my team of discovering our why again. On my website, we use this messaging help, virtual CPA services to help entrepreneurial businesses thrive. So some part of the why statement comes right on the top of the homepage of the Straight Talk website. Here are a few bullets of how to discover your why statements, some ideas, in addition to the one that I shared with you of how I went about getting to the why a number of years back. Reflect on your purpose. Start by asking why your business exists beyond making a profit. What changes or impacts do you want to make in the lives of your impact in your clients? I think that's what's powerful, is what change or impact do you want to make in the lives of your clients? Identify core values. Think about the principles that guide your business decisions. What values do you consistently uphold in serving your clients, managing your team? Consider clients' needs and pain points. What problems do you solve for your clients? How does your business help them improve their lives? So it's going beyond the product. It's how does it impact them? Look at your passion. What motivates you and your team to get out of bed every morning? What drives you to do what you do, even during challenging times? Gather feedback, engage with your clients, employees, partners, ask them what they perceive as the unique value or purpose of your business. Align with your long-term vision, ensure your why aligns with your business's long-term goals. So a few things that can help us, right? It's a discovery process. It's there. We got to find it. We got to discover it. And after going through that, your company name, MakeMan Media, why statement right there, and then explanation. And that's kind of, going through dissecting, debriefing the video from Simon Sinek. Start with your why, and want to open it up for the next few minutes or so before we finish off with things you're thinking of, next steps for you. What are you committing to take to get closer to your why?
So for me, what I was, thinking about this and thinking about what I typically, say when I'm in front of a group, and I never really liked it, but I felt that it was kind of getting the main point across, where, we print what you need for your daily business, what you use, what you consume, and what you use for marketing. We print what you need for the day-to-day operations of your business. Again, it's what we do, right? Boring. Okay. So I was kind of listening to the circles, his why, how, and what, and I didn't really get, I guess, a true why statement, but I changed what I want to say from, we produce what you use for your business on a daily basis, to we believe that the products we produce will represent your company in a positive way. We help you get your information into the minds and hands of the people you want to do business with. So I think that, it's not really a why statement, but I guess it's a kind of a hybrid of the why to how, kind of, maybe. I mean, I was thinking it was more of the why, but now that I'm reading and going over with the group today, it's a little more explanative still, but I
John,
like it better.
What comes to my mind as you're sharing this is what Simon said in the video. of making it, if you're doing it in a geographical area, make it about the geographical area, right? It's about helping businesses in that area, Monmouth County or Ocean County, right?
Mhm.
Or New Jersey or Central New Jersey. And so something to consider is what are the pain points of small businesses in that area, in that geographical area? You're the underdog. The challenges, the political, the tax challenges that businesses are faced with in Central Jersey, and it's affected you. It's affected your thinking, and you want to do something bigger, bigger than life to help them.
Mm.
And that becomes a very kind of a personal thing. I don't know that, people may connect with that.
Okay.
Something that bothers you, something that concerns you, that affects you as a business owner, about how, about the state of condition for businesses in this area, and now you're doing something about it.
Okay.
Something to kind of consider.
Okay.
So I really like the examples that you shared from different businesses. And the why statement, like when we read the why statement, let's say even from Nike or let's say Starbucks also, and because we know these brands so well, we can relate that how they are living that why, right? So for example, let's say Starbucks, when it says one coffee, one person, one neighborhood, it's like it becomes that brand. Like everybody is now holding Starbucks, and when you go there, you put their name on your cup. So it's like they're living that why, and that emotion that they have brought in that why statement. So for me, I think that this helps me. This whole presentation has helped me understanding that bit, right? That your why statement is something that you are basically living on a daily basis, but you have to compile it in a short sentence for yourself, for your clarity, as well as when you're telling your clients. And for me, the next action step is to create that kind of a why statement for my like coaching practice also, because I have a very generic why statement that helps me, and but I live it like it's kind more of a value, a direction, or a compass, as you said. But I mean, from the business point of view, there also should be a good why statement. So that's my action point from this meeting today, and I'm glad I like it, because when I watched that video and now when I attended this presentation, it has cleared a lot of points that I have not comprehended that way. That's what I would say, that some things you have put it in a different light that I have not seen in the video.
Oh, thank you. No, appreciate
Yeah, yeah,
that.
yes.
Thank you. Yeah, yeah.
Mm.
I was at it till the last second, and that's why I was like 30 seconds later. It's like, hey, we need this thing here. We need to polish this slide here. So there's a lot of thought that is trying to. I appreciate the feedback there. Cool. Anyone else? Thoughts, comments on anything before we wrap up in the next couple of minutes?
I think it's hard for businesses a lot of times to come up with a why statement, because I think that a lot of times businesses are it's that's what I'm looking for. I think it's a kind of a personal thing. Particularly if it's your own business, because it's kind of like there are no ugly babies out there, and you think your business is so much better than your competition, which it might be doing the exact same thing. It's just that how you present yourself to other people that really make the difference. And that's, and I think we have a hard time. I think we have an easier time looking out a window than we do at a mirror, and really kind of looking at ourselves truthfully. Who are we? What really differentiates ourselves? And I think the idea of getting some feedback from good clients that you can trust, that your opinion matters, and I think they could tell you why, month after month, year after year, that they continue to stay with you. There's a reason. And it's probably has a lot less to do with money and convenience than it does about how you make them feel, like when they know they could call you up at any given time and get the information you need. And I feel like, with my clients, that is kind of the way. I mean, they're always coming to me for various things, even to go beyond just what I do, on a normal basis, because they have a level of trust. Why do they have that level of trust? Why do they trust me versus someone else? And I think that that's an important thing, is going back to people outside of the four walls of your business and say, okay, why do you come back year after year? What drive? What's that point? And that could be a reason, or starting with the why, because you probably do a lot of times you do things so naturally you don't think about it. Like if you try to explain to someone how to play a guitar, or how you swing a bat and hit a baseball, it's like it's hard because you just do it naturally. And I think that's the thing is having someone who's on the outside looking in say, well, why do you do this? Why do you keep coming back? Is an important aspect of figuring out your why, because a lot of times it's right there in front of you, but you don't see it.
Mike, the thoughts that were, thank you for sharing that. The thoughts that were going on in my head is there's a lot of small businesses that don't have the profitability that they should have. And so their pricing is lower. They're trying to be the cheapest solution. And that is one of the bigger reasons why their clients will continue staying with them, is their pricing is just low. And it's not a business that can scale because there's just not enough money to hire the right team, not enough money to invest in the right marketing and so forth. And I feel, the objective of the business should be, how can I want to double my prices. What do I need to do? What value do I need to bring to my clients, customers, patients, so that I can double my prices or triple my prices, make a handsome profit so I can reinvest in this business, make it a success, invest in the right, whatever technology people and so forth.
And I agree with you to a certain extent, but one thing that is that, sometimes I think in a lot of cases you're in some cases you're right. I mean, people just come back because you're the cheapest, but the truth of the matter is like, how often can you just say to yourself, I'm getting what I paid for? Because the truth, because if you are doing it cheap, that doesn't necessarily mean that you're not doing it good. I think there's two distinct things there. It's like,
yeah, you're doing it
sure,
good, but you're not articulating the value in the right way, right? And that's where I feel like the how comes in and the why comes in.
Yeah? Oh, I agree.
We prepare
I agree
tax
with you.
returns.
Yeah.
We got a unique method where we triple check everything, make sure that you're entitled, you're getting the best tax, deduction, highest, right? The process. And then why do you do this? We're in the, this, that's kind of right, connecting with the purpose statement. So, yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that, but I think that, there are, I mean, there are reasons if everybody comes back to you and says, because you're the cheapest around, that's not what you want, but that gives you a lot of what you need to hear too. So again, I go back to my original statement. It's like getting the feedback from the customers that have been around for a while, why they continue to do it, why they continue to come back. If it's just like, yeah, well, you get a decent job and you're $10 cheaper than the guy down the street, Yeah. Now you've learned something.
Mm.
And you're really not all that special. You're just cheap.
Yeah. And you're gonna hear also some things that make you special. Oh, I can trust you, or I just like you, right? And
Yeah.
digging deeper and kind of seeing if there's a common thread, kind of like what Noor shared, right? Look at your experiences, stories, I think 10 or
Mm-hmm.
20, and see, what that common thread is, right? As an exercise.
Mm-hmm.
And there is a lot to be said for that, what comes from the clients. And I think we can we can identify what are those 2 or 3 things that stand out for people.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, awesome. Good stuff, man. Anyone else? Edna, what are you thinking? Put you on the spot.
When I see the why of Starbucks, that's the time I realized that it's very important that we are not just selling our products, but we should sell the emotion as well. Uh,
Hmm.
their Starbucks why will really be sold here in the Philippines
Hmm.
because um when you visit Philippines, every time that someone visited your house or someone asks you for a talk, the first thing that will be offered to you is a cup of coffee. And we are using that cup of coffee to have a connection and to really communicate with the person that you are talking to. So having said that, it's really important to understand yourself, or really listening to yourself, why you are doing something, or why are you building something. And then from there, people will really see it the way you actually visualize things.
Hmm.
So I'm very much excited to really apply all of these. Actually, I'm already thinking on how am I going to do it. And the first thing that I will do is reflection. The first step that you showed earlier, reflecting on your purpose. And that's the first thing that I'll do. Very excited
Hmm.
about that.
That's awesome. And you talk about the experience in the Philippines, and it reminds me of the experience I had a year and a half back. We were visiting Turkey. We were in a small town called Antalya, southern part of Turkey. It was kind of earlier in the day, in the morning. Wanted My wife and myself wanted to have a cup of coffee, so we went to the city, the main road, and there was a Starbucks. And my goodness, there's a huge line outside Starbucks, and right next to it is a local coffee shop. And we go in and buy our coffee and say, wow, there's not many people here today. I mean, this place and he's like, yeah, Starbucks gets all my customers,
Mm.
unfortunately. And Edna, it's right, they've done such an amazing job at their why, to inspire and nurture the human spirit, one person, one cup, one neighborhood at a time. And now they were in Turkey, and they're everywhere in the world doing this, and connecting with the folks that are there. So it's so powerful, guys. This is so powerful. And I think, to finish off here, it's that second or third slide that I'd shared, right? The challenges of small businesses, biggest
Hmm.
challenges. You guys share different challenges, and this is how a why statement can really help us with all these different types of things: client attraction, client retention, employee attraction, employee retention, and a reason to get up in the morning, a reason to wanting to grow our business to even greater lengths, heights, is to make that impact, to make that bigger impact, to get closer to our why, to live our why. All right, folks, this was amazing. Uh, Let me stop share. I really appreciate everyone's thoughts, comments, feedback through this process. Thanks for watching the video, reflecting on it. Hope you got a lot from it, and see you guys next month.